Welcome back to Inside Line Football with head football coach Tim Clifton. I'm Cam Dowell, and Coach, it's time to Ask the Coach segment of our show. And you and I spoke about it just a little bit a while ago. You're hearing a lot of stuff going on now with the Miami, Carolina last year, and of course LSU's involved as well. Well, you've got a lot of guys with a lot of third-party guys who are stepping in and hurting these kids. But as far as offering things, your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, Cam, it's obvious that football and basketball are driving, you know, a lot of universities now. They're making so much money for the universities, and you know, there's some people involved that shouldn't be involved, and getting involved with 18, 19-year-olds and putting some things out there that, you know, it's hard for some of those kids to make the right decision. And you know, fortunately for us at Mars Hill and Division II schools, most Division II schools, we don't have those kind of resources.
No Hummers or
yeah,
Porsches, right?
You know, yeah. Maybe we can get the players to pay us, you know. But you know, I think that somehow the presidents at the major universities have got to get involved, and they got to make a decision. They got to make a decision whether they're going to get involved in playing those guys, pay those guys to play, or they're going to keep it where it is and do a better job of investigating them and making sure they follow the rules. But when you deal with young kids and people are throwing those kind of things at them, and coaches and coaches are out there working extremely hard to keep things you know, in perspective.
Right.
But guys get involved that have a lot of money, and you know, it's unfortunate for Miami. It's unfortunate for any institution to get caught up in it. And you got to hope that there is an answer to this thing.
And you mentioned administration. The Carolina, it was a whole year of just questions and questions, and finally when it seemed to sort of fade out just a little bit, administration stepped in, fired the guy. So your thoughts on that? Did they wait too long, or should it have been done earlier?
Well, you know, not being there,
Right.
and not knowing the situation, it'd be hard to say. You know, you know, in every situation, the people that are totally involved have the answers, I think, and I think they, whatever they had to do as far as the investigation and things turned up, you know. I think one thing you can always do is before you hire somebody, make sure you know you've done your homework. Just like when I hire assistant coach here, I try to do as much homework as I can do on them, and make sure that I'm getting the right guy, the right fit, because each institution has a fit, and where's that guy that can fit that institution? And I think that's tough. You know, I think that's tough on ADs and presidents, especially at that level with that kind of money, to find the right fit. And then, you know, there's guys that are getting pressure from alums.
Right.
You better win.
You gotta win, yeah.
Yeah, or you're gonna lose your job. You know, so I think it's a catch-22 for a lot of institutions. But I think the presidents and the NCAA got to decide what they're going to do with football and basketball. I think they're different than any other sport.
South Atlantic Conference preview sponsored by Mountain Credit Union. Coach, let's talk about the South Atlantic Conference. Of course, the Mars Hill Lions were 7th in the polls. You got the old guys up the top. Wingate, Carson Newman, they're always there. One of the teams that sort of surprised me a little bit was LR at 3rd, but they had a good end to the season last year. They got a brand new coach. But talk about the overall South Atlantic Conference and where you see them as far as our country. Yeah.
Well, you know, I think our conference is as good as anybody's conference. I think our conference, Gulf South, really competitive. But you know, every year it seems like a team from out, you know, Western Missouri or somebody like that comes flying in there. And but I think our conference, week in and week out, is probably the toughest place to play. You know, it seems like those other conferences have a top echelon and a lower echelon.
And it used to be that way here.
Yeah, it used to. When I first came in the league, it was like that. And you could always say, well, I think we can win these 3 or 4. I'm not sure that's the case anymore. I'm not sure anybody can say, well, we're going to win these for sure. I think it's each week it's like the Southeastern Conference. You're going to have to line up and play. And, you know, it's one thing to vote somebody somewhere. It's another thing to put them there.
Exactly.
And it's the first time in about 7-8 years we've been picked, you know, that low. And
it's usually mid-grade, somewhere 4th or
yeah,
5th,
you know,
right?
but hey, that's fine us, we still got to play them.
Have you talked to the team about that poll at all?
Well, you know, they read it. I mean, it's amazing what I hear from the players and from other people that are internet savvy. You know, I'm one of those that still likes to talk on the telephone. If you got something, tell me. But
If you're trying to get on this guy, don't try to email him
just,
at all.
Just call me.
Just call him.
And I'll be glad to talk to you. You know, but these young guys, they're internet savvy, so they come to you with Coach, did you see this? Did you hear this? Or you know, no, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it.
What
Thanks
is it?
for telling me, and that's good. And so, but you know, I think this conference is so level. The playing surface is so level. So I'm excited about this year. I think our players are excited, and we've just had a great camp.
We'll take one more ad break and pay some bills, and when we come back on Inside Line Football, we'll talk about the University of Charleston, West Virginia Golden Eagles and our game on Saturday here in Mears Stadium. You're listening to Line Football, sponsored by Mountain Credit Union.